Unit 731, also known as the 731st Unit, was a covert biological and chemical warfare research and development unit of the Imperial Japanese Army during World War II. Established in 1932 and led by General Shiro Ishii, it was stationed in the Pingfang district of Harbin, Manchuria, under Japanese control at the time. Initially operating under the guise of the Anti-Epidemic Water Supply and Purification Bureau, its real focus was on conducting inhumane biological and medical experiments on humans. Unit 731's main focus was the development and testing of biological weapons. These included pathogens like the plague, anthrax, cholera, typhoid, and various other infectious diseases. The goal was to understand how to effectively spread these diseases, their impact on military forces and civilian populations, and how they could be used as a wartime weapon. The experiments conducted by Unit 731 on humans were extremely brutal and inhumane. Prisoners, primarily Chinese and Russian detainees, as well as some Koreans and expatriate Japanese, were subjected to these horrific tests. These experiments included vivisection. Live human dissections were performed without anesthesia to study the effects of diseases on internal organs. Bodies were opened, and organs were extracted to observe the physiological changes caused by the diseases. Biological testing. Prisoners were intentionally infected with various diseases to monitor their progression and symptoms. Biological bombs were used to spread diseases, and their effects on different populations were studied. Physical experiments. These included dehydration and freezing experiments where prisoners were exposed to extreme conditions to study their effects on the human body. Limbs were frozen and then subjected to boiling water to observe the resulting changes. The experiments conducted by Unit 731 represent some of the most horrific chapters in the history of modern medicine. Humans were used as test subjects without any regard for their rights or dignity. There were no ethical or humanitarian guidelines guiding these experiments, with the sole aim being to achieve scientific and military gains at any cost. With the end of World War II, Unit 731 was disbanded, but many of its members were not held accountable for their crimes due to political agreements between the United States and Japan. In exchange for immunity from prosecution, the data gathered from these gruesome experiments was shared with the United States.